3 years later and many people still recommend this IEM. So today we're doing a full review of the Truthear X Crinacle Zero Red. From the unboxing, to the sound, and whether this thing still deserves the hype in 2026. So first, the unboxing experience, and honestly for around $50, this is still good. Once you open the box, you're immediately greeted with the anime waifu cardboard, which is very on brand for sci-fi audio. And underneath that, there's actually a lot included. You get a carrying pouch, multiple sets of wide and narrow bore silicone ear tips, a pair of foam ear tips, replacement nozzle filters, and most importantly, a 10 ohm impedance adapter. And this adapter basically acts like a bass boost mode. It adds extra low end if you want a warmer and punchier sound. The foam tips are surprisingly nice too. They're soft, comfortable, and feels more durable than the usual cheap foam ear tips that you get with budget IEMs. The cable, that's probably the weakest part of the entire package. It feels thin, kind of cheap, and the 1.2 meter length feels shorter than what a lot of newer budget IEMs offer today. It's usable but definitely not amazing. Now let's talk about the build quality and comfort. And honestly, this is where the Zero Red still looks way more expensive than it actually is. The faceplate design looks gorgeous in person. That deep red color with the textured finish underneath the resin looks clean, unique, and premium. The shells themselves are made from lightweight resin, and if you shine a light through them, you can actually barely see the dual dynamic drivers inside. But there's one thing that almost everyone talks about this IEM, and that's the nozzle size. These have really large nozzles, so if you have smaller ears, this can become uncomfortable during long listening sessions. For me personally, they fit fine but can get some time getting used to, and I understand why some people struggle with them. So comfort is definitely something you should consider. Now let's get into the sound, and this is where the Zero Red became so popular. These were tuned by Crinacle himself in a collaboration with Truthear. The Zero Red follows a tilted Harman style tuning but smoother and less shoutier compared to other Harman tuned IEMs. And honestly, this tuning still holds up pretty well today. So starting with the bass, the Zero Red focuses more on a clean and controlled bass, instead of a huge aggressive slam. There's enough sub-bass rumble to keep tracks satisfying, especially with modern pop, hip-hop, and electronic music. But the bass texture and punch could definitely be better. Sometimes the bass sounds a little soft, especially on tracks that aren't heavily bass boosted. And the upper bass can occasionally feel slightly muddy. But the good thing is the bass almost never bleeds into the mids, so the overall presentation stays clean and balanced. And if you want more bass, the included 10 ohm impedance adapter actually works surprisingly well. Gives the low end more body and rumble without completely ruining the tuning. Though it comes with a flaw where it muffles the mids a little bit. Now for the mid-range, this is honestly the best part of the Zero Red. Vocals sound natural, smooth, and super easy to listen to. Male vocals sound full and organic, while female vocals avoid sounding harsh or shouty, and that's something a lot of budget IEMs struggle with. They either get one correctly, either the male or the female vocals only. So these mids have a slightly warm and relaxed character that makes long listening sessions really enjoyable. Instruments also sound clean with surprisingly good separation for the price. Guitars, pianos, vocals sound cohesive and natural together. And honestly, this tuning just sounds mature. It doesn't try too hard to impress you with fake detail or boosted treble, but it sounds correct. Also, this can be used for monitoring your voice, where I use the reds to check out my voice if it sounds good. So let me know down in the comments if my voice sounds good. Now moving on with the treble, and this is probably where opinions become divided, because Truthear played the treble very safe here. It is smooth, non-fatiguing, and refined. It's not super sparkly or airy, so if you're someone who loves bright and ultra detailed treble, you might find the Zero Red slightly boring. But if you're treble sensitive, then this tuning is amazing. And despite being relaxed, the treble still keeps enough detail to avoid sounding dull. So it's definitely more of a safe tuning than a exciting one. Now let's talk about the technicalities, where honestly this is pretty impressive, where the soundstage is above average. It doesn't sound massive, but it feels wider than a lot of other IEMs. Imaging is also pretty good, where it is pinpoint accurate. You could easily tell where instruments and sound cues are coming from. So this is pretty good for FPS games. Separation is also solid, especially for a dual dynamic driver setup. But the resolution and layering are where you start to notice the budget limitations. Sometimes busy tracks can sound soft or blended together, and dynamics lack explosive energy and impact. So technically these are good, but not class leading anymore in 2026. Still, the tuning carries this IEM pretty hard. So who is the Zero Red actually for? If you want something balanced, smooth, natural sounding, and easy to listen to, this is still one of the safest recommendations under $50. It's great for vocals, monitoring your voice, gamings, casual music listening, and people who hate sharp treble. But if you want huge bass, super energetic sound, or ultra detailed treble, there are newer sets today that might suit you better. So is the Truthear Crinacle Zero Red still the budget king? And honestly, I think it still deserves the title for a lot of people. Not because it destroys every newer IEM, but because the tuning is pretty good. It's balanced, mature, easy to enjoy, and is really hard to dislike. And even 3 years later, that's exactly why people still keep recommending this IEM. So if you like my video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.